Well, as always, a shout out to our sponsor of the podcast, Home Street Bank. If you're looking for a bank that is going to give you everything you need, great people, tremendous service, really great rates, this is where you want to go. This is my lender. This is my lender of choice. I think it should be yours as well. Go to homestreetbank.com. It's your one-stop shop for all your banking needs, both business and personal. That's homestreetbank.com. So let me ask you, why is your customer sometimes cynical? And, by the way, why can that be a good thing? Let's talk about it today on The Buyer's Mind.
Welcome to The Buyer's Mind, where we take a closer look deep inside your customer's decision-making mechanism to reverse engineer the perfect sales presentation. Now, please welcome your host, Jeff Shore.
Well, welcome everyone once again to The Buyer's Mind, the podcast where we look at the way that your customer makes purchase decisions. And our idea here is that when you understand the way that a buyer wants to buy, you can reverse engineer your sales presentation to make it easy for them to do just that. And ultimately, that's what we want to do. We want to make it easy for customers to do what they want to do anyway. Joined as always by our show producer, Paul Murphy. And Murph, I got a question. Just put yourself in the consumer mindset for just a moment. Are you a cynical consumer?
In this day and age, I think you have to be. Things are a little bit too glossy, and I can't take it at face value. So yeah, I'm a cynical guy.
All right. So, and just to be clear now, you're a nice guy, right? So you can be nice and cynical at the same time, right?
Yeah, no reason why you have to be mean about it. I just don't take it at face value.
And is that just, you think in your way of looking at it, saying over time, I've seen too much where it was glossy, it was slick, but there wasn't really anything there that helped me?
Well, not only was it not there to help me, but maybe the features that they promised weren't there, or, some other problem like that.
Right. And I think that what Murph is talking about here is a very common issue. And on this sort of quick strike version of The Buyer's Mind, I want to get into that just a little bit. I think this is, in fact, very, very normal. I think buyer cynicism is very, very normal. And the fact is that cynicism itself is something of a self-defense mechanism. Cynicism is a natural response to fear. Right. So if I look at it and I go, boy, I'm afraid. I don't know if I can trust this company. I don't know if I can trust this salesperson. I don't know if I can trust the product. I don't know if I can trust the value proposition. Then what happens? All of those I don't knows turn into fear. And the defense mechanism that I could choose to carry here in response to fear is cynicism. So that cynicism is that self-defense. It's a protective move. So I'll just give you an example of this. It was a couple of years ago, but I was actually in Iowa, and I was there during the Iowa State Fair. Okay, I was in Des Moines, Iowa, and I said, hey, I'm in town. I want to go to the Iowa State Fair. And it was everything you would expect the Iowa State Fair to be, the best corn on the cob and the best burgers that you're ever going to find. So what's happening here? At one point, I'm walking through the exhibit hall, and I see a guy, and he's got this big area with a stage and a seating area, and he's got an elevated stage there. He's got the headset on with the big boom mic, and he is selling pots and pans. Okay, he's selling pots and pans. He's got the pots and pans, and these are not just any pots and pans. These are absolutely amazing, high-tech, developed by NASA pots and pans. You're not even going to believe the amazing things that these pots and pans can do. And at one point, he looks at it, and he reaches down under the table there, and he goes, "Now look, I don't even know what to do with this. This is for a different event. This is for a different showing, but the company, I am quite certain by accident, sent us 3 of our latest pressure cookers. These pressure cookers are unlike anything you've ever seen before. They use them in high-end restaurants. They're absolutely amazing devices. I have one at home that I paid a lot of money for. They sent these accidentally, and I don't want to pack these up. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, and I know I'll probably get in trouble for it, but whatever. I am going, for the next 3 people who buy the complete set, I'm going to throw in this pressure cooker at $125 value. I know it's crazy. I know, but you have to act right now. Okay, who's with me? And sure enough, several people take him up on that amazing offer. Now, I'm standing in the back shaking my head, and I am extremely cynical. Why? Because I don't trust people who sell with a boom mic on. It's just not the type of sales presentation that I'm really into. Cynicism is a natural response to fear. And the concern here is that what will happen next? If I see a cynical customer, how does that affect me? How does that affect me when I see a cynical customer? And I want to warn you right now that for some salespeople, their response to cynicism is to make a moral judgment about that individual. It's that salesperson who says, oh, great, one of those guys. And they start looking at it and saying, oh, this is just a not nice person, or this person's mean, or whatever it is. But they start making moral judgments. So here's the deal. You can respond in kind with your own level of cynicism about the cynicism. Or you can recognize that fear underlies the issue and you can treat it with empathy. Now, the only way that you can do this effectively, and I want to make this suggestion to you, is that you need to make a unilateral decision. Unilateral, meaning one-sided. It is not dependent. You need to make a unilateral decision about the customer before the customer comes through the door. You need to be able to look at it and say, I am not going to confuse that customer's behavior with their character. I am not going to allow any cynicism to take me off of the empathy that I will choose to feel. The fact of the matter is that customers who are in a buying process have to deal with the issue of fear, and that fear may manifest itself as cynicism. What are you going to do? The weak of mind salesperson is going to adopt that cynicism and hand it right back to that customer. Now, here's what's ironic about this. If I am completely positive in my mindset and the customer is completely negative in their mindset, what happens? I guarantee you 5 minutes later, somebody changed. Either the salesperson's mindset went down or the customer's mindset came up. But there's no way that 5 minutes later, they are both on polar opposites. But if the customer comes in negative and I as a salesperson come in negative, we got a real problem. Even if I come in emotionally neutral, there's nothing to bring it up. It's going to go down. But here's the rub, and this is what makes this conversation so important. If I'm positive and they're negative, and I can make that customer positive, do I win? Yes, I do. If they're negative, I'm positive, and they can take me down to their negative level, does the customer win? No, they do not win. When we both go negative, nobody wins. The only way for this to work is to have a positive outcome. And that burden is on you. That is a weight that you must carry. Regardless of the behavior that you're seeing, you have to look past that, recognize fear as fear, and meet it with empathy and meet it with compassion. This is a decision you can make right now for the next customer you're going to meet, and for the customer after that, and the customer after that. You can decide before they walk through the door, before that appointment, you can decide, how will I be my best self? Because when you are your best self, you get to change their world. We'll see you next time.